to vineyards and B&Bs in France.
We're in trouble.
But will they flourish? Or will they fail?
We'd have no money. Oh, la la.
And can they really make a life in the sun pay?
If we don't give it a go now, there's always going to be that what if.
No pain, no gain.
On today's show,
What have we done?
will this family open their new bar on time?
It makes me feel a bit sick every time I come in here. I feel a bit like overwhelmed.
Will this rookie fisherman
One day, I'm going to have a boat like that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
take over from an old hand?
Who's driving the boat? We're going to crash.
And will these novice B&B owners be ready for their first guests?
God, an hour and 10 minutes. This is crazy.
One of the most popular stomping grounds for expats in France is the Dordogne. It's home to around 20,000 Brits, and it's easy to see why. Described as Britain 50 years ago, house prices are less than half of those in the UK. The area is steeped in history and produces gourmet food and world-famous wines.
Merci, monsieur.
Former teacher Alison and computer expert Richard Haylock have bought into that dream.
Are you going to carry that?
Well, somebody's going to have to.
They've left behind their family in Scotland to start a new life in Mahoy-sur-Belle, a small town of just over 1,000 people, famous for its bustling markets and moated chateau.
This is heaven on earth. I have no axe to grind with Britain, apart from the fact that I do enjoy good weather because I'm always outside. I've got dogs. So what's wrong with Britain, from your point of view?
Roadworks. Have you seen any in France?
The Dordogne has miles upon miles of unspoilt countryside, and it should fulfill their dream of a life in the great outdoors. But to fund that life, they need to turn this traditional French townhouse into a profitable B&B.
It's minutes from a main trunk road. It's in the middle of a small town with shops around. This place actually ticks all the boxes for us.
They've plunged all their life savings into this rundown property. This will soon become the only B&B in the village. Simple, or maybe not.
It's something we've never done before. Wow.
The comment about refurbishing an old French house is don't.
For the Haylocks' dream to stand a chance, they have to cash in on the summer season. It's now late spring, so that means being open in just 4 weeks. The tradesmen have completed all the structural repairs, but the biggest challenge is yet to come. These two novices need to turn this shell into a working business.
So I'm going to put a second coat on here, and if you can put a first coat like that, I suppose, then that would do nicely.
You don't reckon I can paint, do you?
You're overloading your brush, that's part of the problem.
In less than a month, 3 bedrooms need painting. The bathrooms have to be plumbed, and the electrics made safe.
I've just dropped some white paint on the Dalmatian. You'll never find it.
Your dress with lattice on a black spot.
Yes.
Richard, it's on his head.
So it is.
Not only have the Haylocks never run or renovated a B&B before, but the pressure has just got worse. Their first guests are imminent.
Well, we've got family descending on us as a dry run, as it were, and they'll be descending on us in about 4 weeks. So we've got quite a bit of work to do, but none of it is structural now. That's all been done.
But is Richard's optimism simply papering over the cracks?
The house could be
Fall
set
down?
on fire.
Well, no, we're insured against that.
Well, not assured against fire.
Are we not? We'll get that sorted.
Darling, you can't stop fire if it decides to set fire.
No.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Go and live in a tent.
4 weeks, it'll be finished. We'll be open for business.
Yeah.
The French Dordogne, and in the sleepy town of Mahoy-sur-Belle, novice B&B owners Alison Haylock and her husband Richard are enjoying their new life.
Property here was very much more readily available, and which gave us the opportunity to have a better standard of life by simply moving to a much warmer country. Seemed like a win-win situation.
Nah. Yeah, what's not to like?
But the clock is ticking on their new B&B. In 3 days' time, they're going to face their first test as hosts.
house is as ready as it's going to be. This
Well,
stage.
that's not actually true, is it, darling? At the moment, only 2 people can sleep here. And we need 8 to sleep here. When I've built the beds this afternoon, it'll be ready.
All that stands between them and welcoming guests are 3 flat-pack beds.
12 of these,
Yeah.
and they come in underneath. You're absolutely right. So, legs first.
It would have been so much easier to buy ready-made beds. But the Haylocks have no idea how much they could make from this business, so it's vital they keep the spending to a minimum.
If we had $1 million to throw at this, we wouldn't be considering anything other than the best quality. This would be a 5-star bed and breakfast, and we'd be charging €200 a night. We're not.
Down a bit.
Don't take your fingers away, please. I can't see what I'm doing. According to the diagram that came with this, it takes 20 minutes. It took me 20 minutes to get the first 2 bolts in, let alone the whole thing.
I've done mine. All right, come on, let's do this one.
Finally, though, success!
It's a bed!
So they've sorted the bed, now for the breakfast. Since moving to France, Richard and Alison have dreamt of the good life. Almost everyone around here keeps chickens. And now the Haylocks want a slice of that Dordogne dream so they can serve their guests the freshest eggs.
Can you get ones with nice personalities?
I'll try.
25 weeks, point of lay, apparently, and
We know what the French word is.
25 semaines, and that's about all I would know.
25 weeks?
Yeah.
OK, right. 25 weeks, nice personality.
Yeah.
This trip is really going to put Richard to the test, as he attempts to translate Alison's strict chicken criteria.
I think Alison's certainly nervous about letting me out to go and buy chickens when I know absolutely nothing about them.
The Dordogne is world famous for its traditional markets selling quality food and wine. Today, Richard is headed to the nearby market town of Thiviers. The town boasts some stunning French architecture. Thiviers also prides itself on being the capital of foie gras. But it's not French delicacies on Richard's shopping list today.
Combien de semaines sont-elles?
4-5 mois.
4-5 mois.
Oui.
OK, that's good. Are they good layers? Do they lay eggs? Les œufs?
Les œufs? Oui.
I don't know about this.
Unfortunately, these are not the brown chickens Alison has set her heart on.
Here we are.
But never fear, there's another
Brown
birdman
chicken.
just round the corner.
Monsieur, bonjour.
Bonjour.
J'ai besoin de 4 poulets, s'il vous plaît.
Oui.
25 mois.
That's actually months, Richard, not weeks.
C'est le temps de téléphoner ma femme. Right. Well, we can't get 25-week-old ones. Is that what we wanted? 7 weeks old. If you're happy with that, then I'll do the business. Bye. I see we're second in the queue now. Alors, monsieur. Nous voudrions 4, s'il vous plaît.
Oui. Voilà.
C'est 4?
Oui, il y en a
Sont
4.
femelles?
Oui.
Très bien.
So that's another task ticked off the to-do list.
Home in time for lunch.
The question is, will these 4 chickens in a basket make or break breakfast for the Haylocks? Maroille-sur-Belle in the French Dordogne. Today, Richard has just returned from a rather unusual shopping trip, buying chickens for his new B&B.
How many did you get?
4.
Only 4?
Yeah.
Are they guaranteed female?
That's what he said.
His wife Alison has been at home hoping the birds have just the right personality.
Oh, aren't they hideous?
I think they're all nice.
I never thought I liked chickens. I've always loathed the look of their feet.
You've always said to me that you dislike the look of chickens' legs.
I do, I still do.
But there are some members of this family that actually quite like the look of chicken legs.
If the dogs get to them, they won't fare at all. They'll be in pieces. But that's going to stood up to the first line of Hugo defence.
Hugo! No.
Oh, they're cute. And they're 7 weeks.
7 weeks old.
That means 18 weeks till we get the eggs.
I know.
It'd be lovely if we can offer guests eggs straight out the garden, wouldn't it?
Though it seems Hugo may have other ideas.
No, Hugo.
It's late May and work is still going on to renovate the B&B.
This is chicken and spinach.
To top up their takings, Alison hopes to offer guests an evening meal at €25 per head.
I very much enjoy cooking for small numbers, large numbers, private dinner parties, catering events. Done a couple of weddings. This naughty pastry has decided to curl. Not having that.
Tonight they're going for a trial run by cooking for a house full of friends and neighbours. But it's not the cooking that's going to cause stress here.
There are a few things we can't do together. One of them is share a kitchen. Isn't that right, darling? I had this bit built for him so that he can make tea or coffee without getting in the way. He's got this knack of coming in to do something really important just as I'm trying to serve up. And it's totally unconscious.
But tonight isn't just about testing their skills as B&B hosts. This is also a special occasion.
Well done. I can't believe I just said well done to a flan.
It's Alison and Richard's silver wedding anniversary.
29 years ago, I took this gentleman home and he half drank a cup of coffee, got up, went upstairs and got into my bed. And
Been there ever since.
And 4 years later, he popped the question.
I said, well, I want to get married. And he said, well, I don't, because every time I get married, it all goes wrong. And I said, well, it isn't going to go wrong this time. And after a week of beating him up, and I'm quite good at that, he eventually said, then here's the proposal. When do you want to do it, then? Not much about my life has ever been romantic, to be honest. It's always been a little bit quirky, a little bit odd.
The guests are due to arrive at 7 p.m.
God, an hour and 10 minutes. This is crazy.
And Alison is making a full buffet with quiches, fish and desserts.
What I actually need doing quite badly is snacks.
I can do anything badly.
So can I.
Bonjour!
At 10 to 7, the first guests arrive.
I don't have any room.
And the kitchen is chaotic.
The next person who stops me doing anything up towards cleaning this up is likely to get a washing up brush up where the sun don't shine.
The buffet is ready, and after a quick change, so is Alison, albeit a little late.
I'm so sorry.
But how will her menu go down with her French guests?
Poule et épinards.
Poulpe? Ah non, je veux pas de poulpe. Non, no poulpe.
It seems there's a bit of a communication problem.
Poule.
Non, en anglais.
Chicken and spinach.
Ah, OK. Mais poulet, pas poule.
Despite confusing octopus with chicken, Alison's cooking is going down a storm.
There's kedgeree over there, which is fish. Catherine said that I had cooked enough to feed a regiment, which I think is just as well, because a regiment seems to have eaten most of it. So that's pretty good going, really.
So a successful dry run. But will they cope when hosting the paying public?
We're a little way off finishing it. It won't take that long, and then we'll be open for business. Thank God, I'm looking forward to it.
Are you?
Yes, we need the shekels.
I'm terrified.
Be all right.
The busy summer season is just a couple of weeks away, and Alison and Richard have their first booking.
Happy anniversary, my love.
Happy anniversary. Who'd have thought it?
Who would have thought it? Not my mother, for one. She gave us a year.
But how will they cope doing all this for real?
Starting another new Life in the Sun tomorrow, brand new for your weekdays at 4. Making the most of what we've got on Thursday night, George Clark's new mission, Ugly House to Lovely House, premieres at 8. Next this afternoon on 4, all new, Come Dine With Me.